Hello and welcome to the Easy to Dine video tutorial series. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to configure your various services that you offer to your customer. So to show you exactly what I mean, I want to hit the View Store button in the admin dashboard, and I'm going to take a look at the store page once it's done loading. If I start the ordering process, the first thing a customer needs to choose is what services they like, which is pickup, delivery, dine-in, or table bookings. So all the various rules around the services can be configured to match your particular business rules. So to do that, we'll go to the admin dashboard. If you haven't logged in, go to the Easy to Dine admin dashboard and then select your restaurant. And now we're going to head to the settings page and we're going to go to the services tab. And under the services tab, you will find all the settings that allow you to configure those various services, and I'm going to take you to the process of all the settings available, and you'll see how to configure that to match your business rules. At this time of making this tutorial, Easy to Dine allows you to accept 4 different types of orders, which is pickups, deliveries, dine-in, and table booking. A pickup is an order in which the customer will come in the store and collect their order. And a delivery is an order that you will deliver to your customer's chosen address. A dine-in is an order that's accepted when the customer actually is in the restaurant and sitting down in your table. So it's a way for you to take order from the customers that are already seated. And finally, table bookings allows you to accept reservations and bookings in advance from a customer for a particular date and time. There are several common settings available for all different service types. The most important thing is the ability to enable and disable certain services. Not every restaurant is going to accept pickup deliveries, dine-ins, and table booking. So if there's something you don't offer, say for instance in this case dine-in, so we'll select it and then there's an option that says enabled. So we'll simply check that to disable it and then press save. And now when we open up our store page, if a customer goes to place an order, you can see that the dining option is no longer available to choose from. But now for the purpose of this tutorial, I will enable all the different services because I'm going to talk about each one of them. The next thing we're going to take a look at is the notes. Every different service has a notes section. So say for instance pickup also has a notes section over here, so whatever we write in is going to be shown to the customer when they go and select this particular type of service. So if I say pickup notes, please come in through the back entrance. Now I will save that and go back to the store page, and when I refresh the page and go to place an order, as a customer when they select pickup, you can see that the notes has come through here. An extremely important group of settings that you have to configure correctly are the order timing settings. The order timing control when the customer are able to place order. So at first let's take a look at the opening hours section to understand a bit more how it works. So we'll head to the admin dashboard and we'll go to system and we'll select the location section and scroll down to see our opening hours. Now your opening hours would have been entered in when you first created your restaurant. The very important thing to understand about the opening hours is that customers can only place orders within this period of time. And what I mean by that is that if a customer is placing an order for immediate collection, that can be only done when the store is open. And if a customer is scheduling an order for a later date or time, then it has to be scheduled within your opening hours. Now, the order timing settings for each of the services allows you to have a bit more fine-grained control over the opening hours and the particular service itself. So if I scroll back and go to service tab, let's say I select pickups. Now every different service has the order timing tab under it. Now you select that and you can see all the order timing settings related to that particular service. The first thing you might want to do is enable or disable orders for immediate or later collection. So let's say for instance I only wanted customer to schedule orders for a later date and I didn't want them to place orders for immediate collection. So I can simply disable the place setting that says enable immediate orders and press save. Now if you go back to the store and refresh the page, now let's say as a customer now I will select pickup and I can see that the option to order right now is unavailable. Now, the next thing we want to look at is a couple of very important settings. Firstly, the order offset settings. So there's the first order offset and the last order offset. The best way to describe the order offset is that it's the period of time in which, when you first open the store and before you close it, where the customer is unable to place an order. So, for instance, a very common scenario is that, let's say your customer closes at 10 p.m., you might accept your last order at 9:30. You do not want customers to place an order between 9:30 and 10 o'clock, which is a 30-minute window. So if you want to make that happen in your last order offset, you would set it for 30, as in 30 minutes after you first open your store and 30 minutes before you close your store. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is the settings for later orders. The first thing is the maximum days ahead, which means that if this value set is for 7 days, which is the default value, then a customer can only schedule an order 7 days in advance. Then we have the time interval. The best way to describe it is by showing you how it works. So right now it's set to 15, which is by default. So as a customer, if I go to place an order for later date and time, and I select the date, and when I go to select the time, you can see that all the time is in 15-minute increment. So you probably want to leave this value between 15 and 30. So when the customer is going to schedule the order, they can do it closely to what they exactly want. Lastly, a very important setting is the order offset setting. The order offset settings control what is the minimum amount of minutes from now that the customer is able to schedule a later order. So by default, it's set to 30 minutes, and I'll explain exactly what it means. So say for instance, the customer wanted their order exactly 30 minutes from now. Instead of actually scheduling the order for that time, they can actually order for immediate collection, if the order is going to take you around 30 minutes to be prepared. So the order offset essentially is the period of time where the customer should be ordering for immediate collection instead of scheduling for a later date or time. Now, there's a very important fine point with order offset, which is that if the order offset is set to 30, which is by default, then a customer may schedule an order for at least an hour from now. And the reason because you wanted to give the customer a 30-minute period to actually place the order. So if that takes you 30 minutes to place it, then there's still going to be 30-minute gap from when they can last place the order to when it actually due. Now, you can control the order timing settings to all your different services available. Now, if you go back to your settings page, and you can see each of the different services have their own order timings tab, where you can edit the settings specifically to that particular service. Now, the custom hours allows you to set a custom opening hours for different services individually. So by default, your opening hours for all services will be taken from your general store opening hours. But for instance, for deliveries, we had a different set of opening hours which were different to our normal store hours. So you would go to the settings section, which we already have open, and then we select available hours. And over here we can create separate list of opening hours that apply just for the delivery service. And whatever you put here is going to override your normal store hours. And you can configure this for each of the different services available if you have a different specific hour for that service. Now to the wait times and order statuses. So we're going to take a look at our estimated wait time. And automated status settings allow you to streamline the management of your orders while also keeping your customer in a loop. So when your customer places an order, and they get their order receipt, if they configure it correctly, they will get a good estimated wait time, and initially the order is going to start and will be updating all the order statuses. You can use these settings to automatically update the order status and inform your customer when the order is confirmed and when it's ready, and when it's even en route for deliveries. For each of the different services have their own wait time and auto statuses tab. So you can edit the settings specifically to that particular service. So under pickups, I can select wait times and auto statuses, and I can see there's a bunch of different services available on the top. You can enable and disable automated statuses for particular status itself, and below that, you can control the amount of time it takes for the order to move between all the statuses. So first is a very common thing that people want to do often, and it is that they want to automatically confirm new orders rather than having to do it manually. So if I wanted to automatically confirm new orders, I can enable the automated confirmed status, and then in this field below, where I can say the time to confirm, I can set the value to 0, which means that the time from when the order was placed and when the order is confirmed is value to 0. Next, we can take a look at the time tool ready, which means in this case for pickups the time where the order is actually available and ready for the customer to come in store and collect it. So the time tool ready and all the following statuses I based on the time of the previous statuses as well. So what I mean by that is that I set the time tool to be ready in 25 minutes, and say the time tool confirm was 5 minutes, then the way the system would work is it would give 5 minutes to confirm the order and then another 25 minutes until it's actually ready. So for the customer, the actual time until it's ready will be 30 minutes from when the order is actually placed. And if I wanted to automatically update the ready status as well, I would go and check the enable automated status in this box just up here. And lastly, we might want to automatically mark the order is complete over a particular period of time instead of doing that manually, like the other statuses as well. So say I enable time to complete and I set the value of something a bit high, like 200. And what that means is after several hours is passed and once the order has been placed, it will automatically mark that the order is complete now. This is useful because you might want to give a bit of extra time before you actually complete the order, just in case there's something else that happens with the actual order, which is why we would set the time to complete to something a bit high. Next, we're going to discuss how the estimated wait times are calculated based on the times you've set over here. So with pickup orders, the estimated wait time is dependent on the time till confirm and the time till ready. So what that means, let's say the confirm is set for 5 minutes and the time to be ready 25. So the total estimated time to be ready is 30 minutes. And now we'll see how this works for delivery. So I will go to the delivery section and I go to the wait times and auto statuses, and you will see that the deliveries has another status, which is the en route status. The route status says that the order has left your store and it's with the delivery driver on its way to the customer's address. So here the estimated wait time is based on the time to confirm, the time to be ready, and the time en route, and the actual driving time from the store to the customer. But to give you an example, let's say I set 0 for automated and instant confirmation. I say 25 minutes till the order is actually going to be prepared in store, and then 5 minutes till it actually makes it out into the vehicle and it's on its way to the customer. So let's say the customer address is actually 10 minutes away from the store. What that means is that the estimated wait time will be 0 plus 25 plus 5. So in total 30 minutes plus the 10 minutes driving time to actually get from the store to the actual customer location. So the final total will be 40 minutes. So when the customer places an order, just like that, you can give them a very accurate estimated wait time for all your different order types. Next, we're going to take a look at the various delivery settings available. So on the General tab, the first important setting we're going to take a look at is the restricted address settings. So when your customer goes to place an order and they start searching for the address, they're going to get a list of suggestions or potential addresses that they are referring to. Now, if you set this restrict delivery address to say just for Canada, and your customer is only going to get suggestions of addresses just in Canada, and this is going to help cut down the nose of completely irrelevant suggestions in different countries. Next, the settings to avoid trolls and avoid highways. What this means is when the customer places the order, we are going to calculate the driving time plus the driving distance. Now, if you avoid trolls and highways and you tell your drivers to do so, enabling these settings will give a much more accurate driving time and driving distance. Next is the Condition tab. The Conditions tab allows you to configure certain conditions that must be met before a delivery order is accepted. So the first is the minimum order amount, and it does exactly what you think it would. So if I set it for 30, then it means that the customer must order at least $30 worth of items before the delivery can be made and they can check out. Next is the max delivery distance and the max driving time. So as I said before, the distance and driving time is calculated for delivery order. And if the distance and driving exceeds this, then the order will be rejected. So you can configure these settings how you like depending on how far away you're willing to accept orders. Then there's the delivery fee settings. The delivery fee is exactly what it says, which is to allow you to add a fee for every delivery order. So by default, it's going to be set for no delivery fee. But if you wanted to add a fixed delivery fee, we press the fixed button, and let's say we can set it to $10 fixed fee for delivery. And the next option is you can have a delivery fee that is based on the driving and distance itself, which is the range option. So over here I can create different pricing brackets. So for example, I'm going to put 0 to 5 kilometers, and I'll put that it will cost the customer $8. And if the order is between 5 to 8 kilometers, I'm going to charge $11 delivery fee. And finally, the order between 8 and 12 kilometers, let's say I will charge $15. Last, we have the free delivery amount, which means if the customer's bill exceeds a certain value, then the delivery fee will be free. So let's say I'm gonna put that to 30. So now if the customer orders anything more than $30, then the delivery will be free. Lastly is the delivery zone. The delivery zone allows you to configure specific areas at which you will accept deliveries within, and whatever delivery zones you configure, it will override your delivery condition settings and will override your delivery fee settings, because you will put a particular fee for each of the zones. Now for that setting, you can just read the instructions over here and follow them, and then come here and upload your delivery zone file, and it's going to automatically map out your zones and only allow customers to order within that. Now the next thing we're going to take a look at is the dining table settings. So I will open the dining section and I will head to the tables tab. So when a customer is placing an order from a table, they have to be able to select that table and then proceed with the order, so you can know where to send the actual order out to. So to give you an example, I'll create 3 tables and I'll give them a name A, B, and C. So when the customer comes to order, they will be able to pick between table A, B, and C. Now to prevent spam orders, I can also add a table password. So on the table, you would probably want to add a stand that has the table name and the table password, so a customer is able to enter these details and then proceed with their order. Now to make it even more easy for the customer, you can also use this order URL over here. So if the order URL is visited, then the order will automatically be configured to this particular table, so they can straight away just add the items to their cart and check out easily. So let's say I copy this order URL and put it in my browser. We will see that when the customer visits the store, there is no need to configure the order as usually would with the book and order button at the top. It's already showing the cart, and the customer can straight away add the items they want and they can just check out. The last thing we're going to take a look at is the table booking settings. So I will head back to the admin dashboard and we will open the table section. So the most important thing that you can actually customize here is the ability to limit the number of people allowed in one particular booking. So we can do that by entering the limit number of people over here. So let's say I put a value of 10. So when a customer goes to make a reservation, they have to enter how many people are going to be part of the reservation. And if that amount exceeds your limit, then the customer will get a warning saying that we only allow a maximum of 10 people in one booking. Next is the booking timing. You can click the tab Booking Timing over here. This is similar to other service timing, but the big difference is because bookings can only be scheduled for later time and date, you won't see the settings concerning the actual immediate orders, which is what you would have seen with other services. The only settings available are the ones for scheduling buttons for later date and time. And lastly, you will also notice that over here there is no automated wait time and statuses available. Because when we're talking about bookings, these things are not really relevant, so those settings are not available for table booking itself.